What's up, everybody? Take a look at these two headlines. Home prices see biggest drop in 9 years, and housing market update. Rising prices amid falling demand and supply. Both came out one day apart. So what the? Why is there so much discord when it comes to what's happening in today's housing market? Today, we're going to take a look at both articles and we'll go through them. And I want to know what you guys think, which one you think is more accurate, and I'll tell you my opinion as well. So let's just dive right in. Let's start with the first article that was written by Arnold for NPR on September 21st. This one is titled, Home Prices See Biggest Drop in 9 Years Thanks to Higher Mortgage Rates. In this article, Arnold writes that home prices were down around 6% from their peak in June, the biggest 2-month drop in prices in nearly a decade. The pace of home sales also slowed for the 7th month in a row. He credits the price drops and the sales drops as a direct result of the higher mortgage rate. As we all know, mortgage rates have doubled in the last 6 months, from 3% to now way over 6%. That magnitude of the mortgage rate increase is one of the largest, quickest increases in such a short span of time, says Lawrence Yoon, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. Yoon says the number of home sales each month is down around 20% from a year ago. Now let's pivot over to the other article posted by Tim Ellis of Redfin that was dated September 22nd and is titled, Housing Market Update. Rising prices amid falling demand and supply reflect a new weird. In this latest housing market update, Ellis writes for Redfin that home prices have increased 1% in the last 2 weeks, after 11 weeks of declines as mortgage rates soared past 6%. He credits the price increases due to the fact that there's just so little inventory, so the good houses that come on the market are still being bid up by buyers. Typically, when mortgage rates shoot up, we expect home prices to come down in turn. But with so few desirable homes coming on the market, buyers are not getting much relief. As a result, home sale prices have picked up in recent weeks. So how can one article say that home prices are down 6% from their peak in June, and the other article says prices have increased 1% in the last 2 weeks? Let's go a little deeper. According to the National Association of Realtors, the median existing home sales price has fallen by 6% from a record high of about $413,800 in June to $389,500 in August, which confirms Arnold's data. So 1 point for NPR. We all know that the Fed Reserve is actively fighting inflation by increasing interest rates, which does directly affect mortgage rates. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it quite clearly. The U.S. has had a red-hot housing market for much of the pandemic, and pulling prices lower will help in the Fed's fight against inflation. He believes that if the U.S. Central Bank helps to bring down home prices, it'll bring about a more balanced market, return appreciation to sustainable levels, and make housing more affordable. But is it working? Well, let's go back to the Redfin article. So the first thing that stands out to me in this housing market update is that Redfin is reporting that home prices have increased in the last 2 weeks by 1%. But these prices are reflective of 1 to 2 months ago, because there's always a lag time between the date of contract, when the price is set, and the date of closing, when the price is recorded. So just to clarify, and I'm sure you guys know this, so I'm not going to go way into it, but when you write a contract on a house, you write it on a certain day, and then it still takes another 30 to 60 days to close if you have a loan. So that's the lag time I'm talking about. So this data is not from 2 weeks ago, it's really from about 2 months ago. And 2 months ago, interest rates were a lot lower. As of the week ending July 29th, 2022, Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market showed the following interest rate. 30-year mortgage was 5.3%, 15-year mortgage 4.58%, and a 5-to-1 ARM was 4.29%. Today, interest rates are well north of 6%. I just got a pre-approval letter for a client yesterday with an interest rate of 6.78%. That's a huge difference. So to say that home prices increased by 1% from 2 months ago when interest rates were a lot lower kind of makes sense to me. Today, those same buyers may not be able to afford that same house with the higher interest rates. So therefore, the sellers would have to adjust their prices to accommodate the buyers that are out there, therefore lowering their prices. Let's take a look at some of Redfin's data, which covers the 4-week period ending September 18. On average, a record high of 7.4% of homes that were for sale had a price drop, up from 3.8% a year earlier. You can see the red line, which represents 2022, is on the upward trajectory. With more listings having price reductions, it makes sense that prices are going down. Let's be clear, I'm not calling Redfin's researchers liars. I think they're reporting the data as they see it, but they're just not making it very clear where the data comes from and when it occurred. In this super volatile market, it's really important that we all know our dates because everything is changing so fast. Interestingly, in that same report by Redfin that covers the data ending September 18th, they report that home sale prices in San Francisco fell 6% year over year. Oakland, California, prices fell 2.5%. Buffalo, New York, prices fell 1%. Honolulu, Hawaii, 1.4%. And New Orleans, prices fell 10%. One thing that they both agree on, both articles, is that we still do not have enough inventory. In the NPR article, Arnold reports that right now, the nation is in the midst of a severe housing shortage. And Realtor.com reports that the total housing inventory registered at the end of August was 1,280,000 units, a decrease of 1.5% from July, and unchanged from the previous year. Unsold inventory sits at a 3.2 month supply at the current sales pace, identical to July and up from 2.6 months a year ago. And Redfin reports that new listings of homes for sale were down 19% from August of 2021, the largest decline since May of 2020. And active listings, the number of homes listed for sale during this period, fell 1.7% from the prior 4-week period. On a year-over-year basis, they rose 3%. So inventory is increasing, but still not enough. And this is good and bad. It's bad for buyers because without more inventory, prices just may not drop as much as they need to become affordable. It's good for sellers and homeowners because without a big influx of inventory, the housing market won't crash like it did in 2008. And hopefully their values won't go down 27% like it did between 2008 and 2012. The other factor in the housing market that affects home prices is that buyer demand is also down. Taylor Marr, the Redfin deputy chief economist for Redfin, said, "There's been a lot of talk of the new normal, but what's happening in the housing market feels more like a new weird. The impact of the Fed's inflation curbing strategy is seen clearest in the housing market as prospective buyers take a big step back, slowing sales. But since the vast majority of homeowners who might consider moving have a mortgage rate far below current levels, there's very little new supply hitting the market." In other words, if buyers aren't willing to buy right now because of the higher interest rates and sellers don't want to sell right now because they want to hold on to their low interest rates, inventory is rising, but just not enough to bring prices down so they become more affordable. So what's the bottom line? Arnold from NPR writes that home prices are going to keep falling. One reason is because prices got so super high during the pandemic due to the super low interest rates combined with super high demand that prices have to come down from the 30 to 40% increases in the last 2 years. As previously reported, Mark Zandi of Moody's Analytics thinks that home prices will still fall another 10 to 20% depending on the extent of the recession. And Ellis from Redfin says those who do choose to list their home have lost the upper hand that their neighbors enjoyed when they sold last spring and should price accordingly. Redfin's Taylor Marr said, "The irony is that it may take renewed fears of a recession to bring some relief to buyers in the form of lower prices." So what do you guys think? What's happening where you live? You can see by all of these articles that everyone's got a different opinion of what's happening and what they think is going to happen. But one thing that we all see what's happening right now is that the market has been and will continue to correct as interest rates continue to rise and prices, I think, will continue to go down. But I want to know what's happening where you guys live. I do read your comments. Some of them aren't that nice, but I still encourage you to comment because I want to know what's happening where you live. I think that's that's the best indicator for all of us to really know what's happening in the housing market. Are you guys still seeing multiple offers, more inventory, foreclosures? Are you seeing a lot of price reductions? When you comment below, tell us where you live and what you're seeing, and try to be nice about it. I mean, this is all a conversation that we're having together, so we can all see what's really happening in the housing market to make the best decisions for all of our families. I also want to know what you think of the Fed Reserve strategy. Do you think it's working? Is it actually making your life more affordable? In my opinion, housing is still unaffordable because interest rates have gone way up, but at least where I am in the DC area, prices just have not come down that much. I'm still seeing multiple offers on homes that are priced correctly and show great and in good condition. One change I do see happening right now in real time in October of 2022 is that buyers now have the opportunity to do home inspections and have appraisal contingencies, which I think is really good, especially for first-time buyers. It just protects them throughout the contract. The other thing I've seen lately is that buyers can ask for seller help with closing costs, especially on the lower priced houses. This is a big change in the last 2 years, and it's really helpful because closing costs can be really expensive. Thank you guys for watching. I do hope you get some value out of these videos. It's a lot of work, but I think it's really important to gather all the opinions of the industry insiders and tell you my experience while working as a full-time realtor here in the DC area. If you did get some value and you want to show our channel some support, definitely smash that like button, comment below, try to give me a little bit of love this week, and subscribe to our channel. It just helps us with the YouTube algorithm and motivates us to make more videos. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!